And Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. You feel me?
Rich Trapper.
The homie wanted you to whitelist this shit too.
Who?
Rich Trapper.
Rich Trapper?
He be reacting to your shit.
Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. We back in the same, like cracking the same. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for more. That's good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Some good news you can use. Good knowledge, though. You can't get nobody's college, though, big dog. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe for all this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Make sure you tap in with the tap in when you tap in all the way inward. Inward, not inward. Don't worry about it. Words are hard. Don't be racist. Don't be racist. Anyway, make sure you hit that subscription button, become part of this Rich Trapper Mafia family, hit that notification bell at the top, hit all, stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest, and I want you to make sure that you hit the description button. Follow the new page, man. Make sure you follow the new page, Paging 10. Make sure you tap in with that, because when we get to 5,000 subscribers on the new page, we will be giving away good, chili honor, man. Make sure y'all get y'all all the way right. Right now, we are at 2,100, man. We growing fast. We've only had this new page for about 5 weeks now. We already at 2,100, man. So I appreciate the love y'all always showing to TNN Trap News Network. You dig me? Make sure you tap in with that. We finna jump into this content, man. Today, we taking it back to Alex Alonso and Street TV. Shout out to Alex Alonso. Shout out to Street TV. Had to take it off the Bluetooth real quick. Why would Black Sam say someone sent Eric Holder to 187 Nipsey Hussle when the case is over? We finna jump into this content, man. Shout out to Street TV. Shout out to Alex Alonso. We finna jump into this amazing content they always giving us. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Black Sam recently gave an incredible interview to Big Boy. And about an hour into it, Big Boy asked him about what happened to Nip in that parking lot.
I just realized Nippy is gone. How long he been gone?
Yeah,
5 years.
No, I'm from this wall. My bad.
The interview that Big Boy and Black Sam did, it kind of reignited a lot of the conspiracy theorists that kind of went away after Eric Holder was found guilty back in 2022. Now let's keep in mind, Nipsey was killed in 2019. That's 5 years. 5 years. It's been 5 years. Black Sam gives the interview, and now there's just so many people reacting to this interview. In fact, we got 2 clips of this interview. Let's play clip number 1.
Throw it on, at some point, do you feel like any of this is worth it, or were you ready to throw it all away?
Oh no, man. 100%, like, crash out, broad daylight, whoever. And, we start figuring out who the streets was saying it was, and, that's what the whole unit was like. Where's this nigga at? And, that was the mind space at that point.
Yeah.
Aside from just dealing with, the reality, but it was go time, man. And, they're gonna make sure the kids is good, make sure his kids is good, and make sure we keep going.
Is it as random as what the public thought it was? Like, Nip seen somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, he already got convicted, so for me, without going into too many details.
Mm-hmm. Notice how Sam says without going into too many details. Meanwhile, you have people like Rat Run Honey going into all the details.
Somebody come to the shop. They know we in the doorway. When Hustle pull up, we in the doorway. You gonna see me with a hoodie on, and I got a pistol on me. You gonna see one of the team members in the hoodie in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol when Hustle pull up. So it's Sunday. It's busy in there. Why the in there didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? Maybe they just around helping the customer, doing some fucking customer service. This is what I'm thinking. Trying to, transition into some legitimate, just selling clothes. But nobody was in the doorway. And from my understanding, no boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene, because he know what's going on in that parking lot. And had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hustle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. Left. They say came back with a red shirt on. Tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off, or the Bloods did it, or the Inglewood families did it, or the BPS. That's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in, he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. And that's my thoughts on it.
All right, man. There's a lot there.
Big boy got some big ass hands. Go ahead.
There's a lot there
Spiral of random.
that Black Sam got the conspiracy theorist thinking. First and foremost, he is alluding that somebody sent Nipsey there. And with all due respect to Black Sam and the family, this case has been investigated like no other case can be investigated. We're talking about cell phone records, communications, search warrants.
Alex Alonso ain't gonna have nothing but some facts. You better believe that. If Alex Alonso don't come with nothing to the table, he gonna come with some facts.
Seizing cars, everything.
In connection to a crime that happened on camera. Go ahead.
Yeah, to a crime that was caught on camera from beginning to the end. So here's the thing. I'm going to disagree that anybody sent them for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, who knew that Nipsey was going to pull up at that shop in the first place? At that time, he pulled up at, let's say, 2:50 p.m. on that Sunday. So if you think someone sent them there, well then the list is short of how many people knew Nipsey was going to pull up there at 2:50. And from all the testimony, from all the evidence, very few people, if anyone, knew Nipsey was going to be there at 2:50 p.m. He pulls up when he wants to pull up. Now I do believe maybe Rimpaw was in that parking lot waiting. It looks like Rimpaw maybe Nipsey and Rimpaw had a rapport. So now you're saying if you believe that he was set up, then you believe Cowboy's part of the setup. You believe Rimpaw's part of the setup.
And the boy sends it to send it there.
And there's no evidence whatsoever
Nina Boy's a clown for that.
that there is a link between any of these people and the conspiracy to kill Nipsey. That's the first thing I'll say. Black Sam said, and he just glossed over this, they had a conversation and then he just continued talking. That conversation is crucial. That conversation is critical. That conversation changed the whole tone, the body language, the demeanor.
If he was not sent.
If he was not sent. That conversation led to Eric going to the car, loading an unloaded gun.
That's the conversation where Nipsey Hussle alluded to, or maybe suggested that Eric Holder was a snitch and had some paperwork to clear up.
So who's sent to do a homicide and the gun is unloaded? He's loading the gun in front of Bernita.
That's a point right there. He was sent to do a 1-2 step like Sierra. The Wooty band would already been ready to go for the whatchamacallit, but it wasn't. All right, Alex Alonso, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Nicholson, who's in the driver, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's just sitting there loading up a semi-automatic weapon. The fact that he's loading up a gun at the scene of the crime that is about to become a crime scene is very indicative of not being sent. But what you got to say?
After the argument or the initial?
It's after the argument. After the argument. He had one revolver on him the whole time in his front pocket.
That does show that it was not premeditated for sure.
One that did all the damage was the semi-automatic weapon that he was loading.
He unloaded that after the first interaction.
Wait, say that again?
He loaded up after their initial.
Correct. He went to the car. Okay, he has the conversation with Nip. Then he goes to Master Burger to get the food. Then he jumps in the car with Bernita, and then they park in the alley to eat the food. And while he's there, he's loading up the semi-automatic weapon. Those are all facts. Let's deal with the facts.
I think you're forgetting it. When he got out the car, he put his foot on top of the car, and then did he?
What do you mean?
He got out the car in the alley and put his foot on top of the car, the hood, the top of the car, like the chili cheese fries, whatever he ordered. Oh, his food, not his foot.
Oh, yeah, the food, not the foot. You're confusing me.
Yeah, I thought he said foot. My bad, excuse me.
I thought he said foot too.
But he put his foot on top of the car and then proceeded to do what he did. So, like, that was just like, oh.
It makes you think he was deciding at that time what I should do, and it was impulsive.
Nah, it's just right on schedule with a person that's off.
I think when you look at him in the Master Burger after the conversation with Nip, you see Eric Holder
Pacing.
contemplating and pacing, and you could tell there's something heavy on his mind. It's that conversation that Black Sam just kind of just skipped over. They had a conversation, and that was it that Sam addressed regarding the conversation. But I think the conversation is bigger than what he's talking about. And then also the girl testified, Bernita Nicholson, that the conversation was not friendly. This was not a friendly conversation, everybody. You know, Cowboy wants to say it was a conversation where there was no issue. It was a friendly conversation. Well, why is Bernita Nicholson saying they're calling each other snitch and there was tension and it was unpleasant?
No, honestly, when I heard it back, when I heard her interrogation, it was more aggressive coming from Eric Holder than Nipsey. Just like Cowboy said, I ain't gonna cap, because the grand jury was kind of different, the statement, but different from when I heard her like talking, her audio.
Yeah, but unfortunately they only released like a minute of that audio.
But she said that Nipsey was just more dismissive, like he don't want to talk to him, and he was more so like, well, ain't you a snitch? The aggression more so came from him.
Can I add?
Which I was like, and now like that's kind of different from what I thought I heard like maybe whatever amount of years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because initially it was Nipsey was calling him a snitch.
Right, and now
turns out they were both calling each other snitch. But what was you gonna say,
I
Spider?
just want to add that initially from the streets, direct communication. Rest in peace to the homie neighborhood Nip the Crip. But I heard more than just asking about it. I heard he kind of went big and told everybody else, like in the store, his money ain't no good over here till he straighten his shit out, and kind of like went big on the boy.
So if that was the case and Nip did in fact go big on him and, you know what I'm saying, make it if Nip did in fact go big on him, Nip did in fact go big on him and all that kind of stuff, then, you know, I can understand how an ego could be affected and the ego could be now in play.
I think you're absolutely right, Spider, because when you look at if you zoom in your editing software, there's a lot of body language from Nipsey, arms moving, a lot of pointing is aggression. And I could tell you, I've had an aggressive conversation with Nip. I've been there with Nip before, and I was like, I seen that side.
Me too.
Okay, you too. Yes. And I've seen that side after 2011.
I gained the respect for him when he did it, because he assumed that he could get away with it when I didn't know if he knew he could, and we kind of bonded after we had that bump of heads that time. I respected it. Rest in peace, Puto. Rest in peace, Nipsey. Goddamn.
See, I got caught up in the middle of the situation between him and Big U in 2011, because prior to that situation, I was friends with both of them. But after 2011, you had to pick a side.
So at 2019, from your personal experience, had they graduated beyond that?
I believe they mended all issues. Now, if you think Big U has something to do with it, 2011 was 8 years prior to this. So you think Big U was holding a grudge for 8? He waited 8 years to do, as Munchie would say, his big one. 8 years later, but nah. You guys are leaving out him on the yacht with Nipsey
In New York.
in New York with Nipsey, giving Nipsey an award, and Nipsey's there like smiling as big as you can smile, cheesing, getting an award. Everybody leaves all of this stuff out, right?
And from a personal perspective, when Nipsey died, I and Nipsey had some very intense conversations regarding the YG and Big Bootaroo from Treetop. And when Nipsey passed, I talked to Big U very shortly thereafter, and I was surprised to find out Big U knew everything that me and Nipsey had been talking about in that recent time. So I'm aware that Nipsey and Big U was having an amicable conversation and dialogue, and Nipsey was sharing things with him that he was dealing with in politics because there was no other way for Big U to be aware of that.
And now this Big U Nipsey Hussle rabbit hole is gonna forever be endless because for every but it's gonna be a however. For every however, it's gonna be a but. At this point, I love what Alex Alonso's doing. But hopefully after this, we could just let that man's soul rest once and for all, for real. Because Alex Alonso's coming with nothing but facts, and it's hard to argue the facts when it's as clear as black and white. Now, we can debate feelings all day, but you know what I'm saying, as long as that's being made clear. But if we're going with factual 1-2 steps like Sierra, it seems like Alex Alonso pretty much has his finger on the button there.
I think it's completely natural and normal in these environments that we grow up in where bros are going to clash. And they clashed in 2011. There's no doubt about it. In 2011, they clashed. But what does that got to do with what happened with Eric Holder in 2019, 8 years later?
But the only thing I missed that was key that I just heard right now that I missed when I was listening to the Big Boy interview, he said he was he alluded to Eric Carter being nervous, and that's why he came the first time with his shirt off. Then he came with the red shirt on. And what he did throughout with the alley and the red shirt, that's what he's supposed to do from the gate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't really catch that the first time. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, the Marathon store and the Slauson Swap Meet and a lot of surrounding venues or places sell red shirts. So much as I wanted to just accept,
But he was saying liquor stores. You know, liquor stores only sell white and black shirts.
He didn't use the word liquor at all.
He did.
No, I think he did.
He said liquor stores.
I think he did say liquor store.
He
So
said
the point is still is
but
as
he said
invalid.
around here, don't know stores, not even Inglewood, Compton, no liquor stores are. They only sell white or black.
The Marathon store itself sells red shirts.
Yeah, they do.
Not plain red shirts.
It's not that, bro.
I'm saying I'm being verbatim what he
didn't.
said.
He didn't say plain. So you doing.
But I get what Munchie B is saying. Now that I think about it, I've never seen a red shirt for sale anywhere in the Crenshaw district. Now that I'm thinking about it all that, I've never thought about that until right now. I've never seen it actually.
Adding words.
Okay, but
He said don't know liquor stores around here.
Okay, but what's
sell
more
red shirts.
what's more
Liquor
important,
stores, bro?
What's more important? What point was Black Sam trying to make by saying that?
He just saying somebody sent them, but everybody alluding that if he's saying didn't somebody sent them, it had to be Big U because Big U the biggest name through there, and they know they had differences over the years. Rolling 60s is one of the deepest hoods in LA County. He could have been alluding to anybody else. It didn't have to just be Big U.
Yeah.
And if he's gonna be that bold,
Now,
it seemed like
Munchie B is making an amazing point too. Again, no names were said. The only person who inserted names was Officer Rat Run Hunter. We all know that he's a snitch. You don't know what only Black Sam knows what Black Sam was thinking in that moment.
you know, he would at this point, if he wanted to, speak directly about who he chose to speak about.
Cause it ain't no statutes of limitation. That's telling, bro.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, he still is insinuating.
He alluding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
He could have just said what he originally said. I don't want to talk too much about it, and then just ask Big Boy what's the next question. But he gave his little theory hypothesis that was alluding to somebody from the set sent him that had a grudge with him, and everyone now on the internet is pointing to one guy.
Okay, like you
Right?
said, from the set
Whack 100.
though. Why when he made when he said what he said, why do everybody assume that he talking about Big U? Because they had the history they had over the years. Because like I said, Rolling 60s from Western, damn near to La Cienega. I mean La Brea. Well, you think couldn't have been nobody else that had an issue with him or sent that man other than Big U? Why they assuming him?
well, they did. Thanks to Black Sam, he did mention DJ Khaled. There are scenarios that everybody are expounding on that include DJ Khaled. So maybe that's kind of leading people to think that both conversations are connected.
No, Big Sam brung up the Big U situation, but you have J Cats, like we ain't gotta name him, and he placed himself being one of the dudes that ran DJ Khaled off. But
Talking about loose coochie lips, loose cannon, turtle, he who lies all the time.
guess what? When Black Sam said what he said, it went without incident. Everything went good. So that's what I'm saying. Like the internet gonna do what it do, man. And people, you know what I'm saying? We just got people in the right places, the sections and all that shit in real time. They know what time it is, but I don't believe Big U had anything to do with anything. I don't even think he was sent. If so, that was very messy. I think he got mental health problems, drug problems, and he did what he did off of impulse and he being emotional.
And he's still not speaking. At this point, somebody that was sent that did what he did would have broke by now, I believe, and told everything.
Yeah, I think Munchie is 100% correct. The way you just described it, he got emotional. He's probably. Hey, we learned a lot about his mental state during sentencing. Unfortunately, it didn't come up during trial. But during sentencing, man, we learned about electroshock treatments, all these pills he was taking since he was young.
What about the drugs mixed with the mental state?
And that's unpredictable what you're going to get out of that.
I want to mention a couple more things. Black Sam in that clip said that the red shirt was supposed to be the throw-off, but it can't be a throw-off when you already showed yourself in front of everybody. Like, he already got out the car, shook everyone's hand, had conversation, so you can't throw anyone off.
He was saying the fact that he had the red shirt on deck and you can't get in the area, that was his initial plot for a throw-off.
Oh, like he already had it.
Yes, that's what's his point. Okay. He was like, he came over there with these intentions with a red shirt. You can't get one in the area. He only came without it at first to scope out to make sure he wasn't getting in the shootout.
And he said initially he came here and approached just to check it out because he was nervous in the first place.
Well, the body language of Eric Holder when he got out the car does not show a nervous person. He was greeting everybody. He shook Rimpaw's hand, he shook Nipsey's hand, and he shook Cowboy's hand. And actually, I think he didn't shake Nipsey's hand when he left because Nipsey was engaged in a conversation with cousin Carrie, so there was a little bit of a distance. But it seemed like a regular pull-up. Hey, with the homies. But there was reference to Nipsey saying, "Oh, there goes Shitty. What is he doing here?" You know, it was already like, bro ain't supposed to be here. You know, well, how is this gonna play out? You know, how is this gonna go?
I heard that phrase.
Yeah. So
if he was sent like you said, bro, they would have drove by.
Who said? Because none of us think that.
No.
Oh, okay. You talking third person?
He perhaps wasn't sent like you said, because if he was, you know, me and you, we know the protocol, bro. You drive by and see exactly what you're going to get. There's no need to come with the shirt, order the fries and all that. Nobody sees you. You drive by, you see it, you go put your red shirt on, tiptoe up from the Slauson side. Don't come from that side. Come from that side, get your man to be ducked off.
Now let me ask you, does this sound like the activity of a guy that was sent to go do something? Go in the store, order some chili cheese fries. Then not have enough money, go to the car and ask Bernita for a couple more dollars so I can go buy a drink.
And let the broad come out, ask for a picture with me.
And then, well, he didn't have any control over that.
If you driving her, if she driving you
tell her to stay in the car.
No, if you driving her to come
if she's driving to put in some work and bust a mission, she's not thinking about none of that.
Some work and go accomplish something. Why would this female hop out and take a picture?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. If you got someone driving you to go do some dirt, and that's the plan, she never gets out the car. She's getting out the car to take a picture with Nick.
That's a killer under pressure, contemplating in real time. It probably would have something that could have happened that made him change his mind. But whatever that was, didn't happen.
The conversation, man. I think he'd be strapped up like that. Based on me being a across the street, down the street rival, I believe he'd be strapped up like that.
Every time you go through there.
Often.
Yeah, and I don't think it's unusual for this girl, Bernita Nicholson, who's only dated him for a month, to see him with guns. She testified that every time she was with Eric, he had guns. She said when he went to his apartment with his uncle, they had guns. So in a 1 month period of dealing with Eric, guns was normal.
Was there any confirmation that she was a Hoover affiliate or anything?
No. Munch and I talked about this the other day.
We talked about that, right? We talked about right. And I'm standing on it.
Not standing on it. The girl that was a Hoover and Bernita Nicholson
you doing the Munchie and Spider Low.
Are two different women.
Hold on, Alex B. Alex Lowe, you doing the Munchie and Spider Low. Hold on.
3-8, 8-3.
Now the girl they sent from Hoover.
Because Alex Alonso always get on Munchie B and Spider Low for interrupting.
Not her. She had history with this particular Rolling 60. I ain't gonna say her hood name, but she had history with this particular Rolling 60, and that's where it get intertwined at.
Okay, but that's not the question Spider asked. Spider
No. I just threw my little 9s and 2s in there.
I just
But
want to know if did she ever
No.
be confirmed having
No.
it?
No, I want to make that clear that
No.
Renita Nicholson, the girl who was dating Eric Holder for that month, has no gang ties whatsoever.
no.
She's a square. She worked as a, I don't want to say a nurse.
Hold on. Jump back into this. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Lyft driver. She did some little,
Yes.
probably some in-home care type.
She did some in-home care type stuff. She was
Yeah.
Lyft drive. She met him Lyft driving,
Yeah.
and they both lived in Long Beach.
Good girls love bad boys. Y'all gotta figure it out, good girls.
And I think she was a girl that was desperate for some male attention.
That's what it is. It ain't the good, but
She I don't want to say.
yeah, kick back.
She was just a young lady that was desperate for male attention. Eric Holder
She was a little bit on the chunky side, not really the best looking.
shot his shot from the back of that Lyft.
They had sex a few times.
and they exchanged information, and they had a 1-month relationship. All right, there's no other history between this girl and Eric Holder.
That's deep.
And let's see, the last thing I want to say about that last clip is that I don't know how Black Sam can come to the conclusion that he was supposed to hit that alley from the jump and shoot Nipsey. Like that, he believes his plan was to do that from the beginning. There's no, if you just watch it play out, you can tell that he just can't. He decided to do this as he was there.
Like I said, I look at it like a brother grieving, and he want to know why. He just ain't go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure he's thought about this probably more than all of us. Come on.
But he just not thinking. Rash. He logically, bro. I never lost a sibling. You know what I'm saying? So he thinking like, nah, this ain't. You know what I'm saying? He can't
But
be.
he's aware of all the current tensions, and when something that unexpected happens,
But the current.
it's natural for you to just like, damn, we was into it all in. It might be totally unconnected, but I think you naturally start when something that unexpected happens and you have things that could have possibly brought about that type of result in play. It's just hard for him to separate the two.
But as far as this internet shit, I answered it maybe last year June doing a podcasting thing, and I'm starting to know you can't give everybody attention because you got people like Loose Cannon that will derail you, and he got a cold imagination, attention seeker, and he got mental health problems. So like you can't listen to people like that when we talking about real life situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Before we play the second
That's facts. You can't listen to fake niggas in real situations.
and last clip, I just think that undermining the conversation that Nips and Eric had is going to cause you to lose why what happened. Cowboy does that. Doesn't really want to talk about the conversation that Eric and Nipsey had, and Black Sam doesn't even want to address that conversation. I think to a certain degree, it tarnishes Nipsey's legacy to a certain extent, because as a multimillionaire, as a top rapper, as this mogul, you out there politicking some snitch stuff that's really at the end of the day not your lane. And Cowboy knows that.
I don't think it tarnishes reputation. I mean, his legacy.
I don't think it tarnishes his reputation or his legacy at all. I think that he was just being true to who he was, whether we hate it, whether we love it, whether we love it, whether we hate it. That's the commitment that he made to himself. And as long as he was able to face himself in the mirror and able to, while here with us, be proud of those decisions, I can't say it tarnishes anything, because it speaks to the validity of the person. The same reason you love him is the same reason you hate him. It's all fall under the same thing. Only he would know what he would do differently if given opportunity.
The question mark, and it's left to everybody, whatever you want to go with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own conclusion to go draw. The only person really knows is Rand Paul. If Rand Paul's still around, Rand Paul talked to Big Sam. Black Sam. Believe it.
Here's how it tarnishes it. We talked about this before with T.I. and other people. What percent of the people care about who snitched on who?
Very few.
So what percent of the fans would be very disappointed that you were having a snitch conversation?
No, some people might be fueled by
large, yeah.
No, they be fueled by that. Like, oh, Nipsey a real when he pressed this line.
That's the small
point
group
you're trying to make.
Yeah, that's the minority. Most of the people do not care who's snitching on who.
How do we know that's the minority though?
What?
Now, how do we know that's the minority?
Real is always rare, bro.
That's what we going off of.
I mean, what else? Morals over money. Money usually is more popular. You know you're taking a rare approach when you say morals over money.
You said morals over money. You said the opposite.
That's the rare. That's the real. Real is rare.
Yeah.
The average person is going to pick money's over moral.
Yeah. So all right. So let's go to
That's real.
the second clip.
Not saying nothing crazy. You're gonna come, you're gonna tuck your tail and be humble. And if not, you're getting beat up on the spot. And we done did it a million times. Hustle done did it a million times. So the fact that he left tell me everything I need to know. It was no argument. You know, it was no sense of threat. Because with that come, like, hey, be on deck. It was none of that. It was just, you know, to me it was, let me come through, let me see what's going on, and then let me, you know, in this broad daylight, man, and it's, you know, it's a lot of unanswered questions, man.
You don't believe he had any dialogue with Nip that day, or did anybody say he said something?
Yeah, no, they had dialogue, but it was in the mix of him coming up, talking to bro, and, you know, whatever transpired, it wasn't an aggressive dialogue. It was just maybe small talk, and then maybe people saying Nip brought something up to him. Okay, he may have, but it wasn't. To me, that don't. Whatever the dialogue was, that didn't justify, or that didn't turn into that. You know what I'm saying? He came there for a reason, and Mag got the reverses. I mean, he got the charges reversed because Hustle asked him something about it and humbled him real quick. But
See,
I think it's gonna come to the light.
Alrighty. So
come on, bro. That say a lot.
yeah, let me go through.
He said a little too much right there.
Yeah, let me go through the main
Hold
points
on.
of that. But
That's not saying too much.
okay, hold up, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I want to go through the main points of what he just said. One thing he says is there was no argument. That's untrue. He said that any dialogue, it wasn't aggressive. That's untrue. And let me just remind everybody, I was at the trial, and I heard all 15, 20 witnesses that came to court. Nip brought something up. You see how he downplayed that? No, Nip brought something up that was very crucial. The dialogue, whatever the dialogue was, Black Sam says, it doesn't justify what Eric did. I agree, but the streets don't always agree with that.
But then he added,
And then wait, the last point, and then he says he came there for a reason. And
he said he probably
the evidence doesn't
came
support
for a
that.
reason. And when he was asked what he asked, he said maybe the charges was reversed. Meaning,
Yeah.
he's assuming Eric came there to ask Nipsey about a similar situation of himself.
Hey, what I didn't understand, even while I'm listening to the witnesses, was who was really calling who a snitch.
That's what he just made.
Oh, but he said the charges was reversed.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised to hear.
But see, no one knows that because Cowboy and Rimpaw are the only two people that could really tell us what was in that conversation. We already know Cowboy doesn't want to deal with that conversation.
Munchie B with the snake this, he finna say it twice.
And Rimpaw are the only two people that could really tell us what was in that conversation. We already know Cowboy doesn't want to deal with that conversation.
Rampaw
Rampaw
ain't gonna talk. Yeah, Rampaw was there for the whole conversation.
Yeah, Rimpaw. I just said that. Didn't I say that? Rimpaw,
Cowboy.
You said Rampaw
and Cowboy were there for the entire conversation.
Okay.
Now the girl, Bernita, she jumped out the car and heard about a minute and a half of the 4-minute conversation. So about 2.5 minutes she wasn't even there for. So even Black Sam don't even know what that conversation is unless he's going by Cowboy.
Like Spotter pointed out, key word, the charges was reversed. What do that mean?
He shocked me with that.
It sounds like Ned might have brung up some snitch allegations to Shitty, and then Shitty reversed it.
Yes.
Ain't you a snitch?
See, the girl confused me because Bernita Nicholson testified that Eric was calling Nip a snitch.
That's
And
what
Black
she
Sam
came-
is saying Nip flipped it on him. You bringing this up to me. Now I'm finna ask you something.
Hey, so he's giving us something that we
Yes.
he's helping us understand Bernita Nicholson's testimony now.
Right.
All right, man, we up out of here to the next one. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that description button, become part of this new Rich Trapper Mafia family we got going on at the second page. Hit that description, hit the link for the new page. Red dots to the left, y'all know the rest. Free Avenue Angel, so he's free. We go.